Hello, everyone, and welcome to 3 interoperability tasks between AutoCAD and Revit. My name is Juliana, and I work in marketing here at MicroCAD. And today's presenter is Andrea Gonzalez, our application specialist. At today's webinar, we will see 3 specific cases where we can see the advantages of this interoperability. Throughout the webinar, you can ask a question at any given point on the left-hand corner. You can ask Andrea to revisit a step or ask any questions. This is your time, and we want you to make the most of it. And in the upper left-hand corner, you will find links to our social media and website. Also, make sure to check our YouTube channel. Also there, we post all of our webinars there at the end, so you can share with colleagues or watch it on your own time. And without further ado, we'll pass it on to Andrea. Hi, Andre.
Hi, Juli. Let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see it.
Yep.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Gonzalez, and I am a mechanical engineer. And I am doing this live session on behalf of MicroCAD Training and Consulting, where I work as an AEC application specialist. Let's start letting you know a bit of myself. I have 8 years of experience as a system designer focused on plumbing, working with Revit and AutoCAD for drafting, modeling, project setups, MEP templates, document management in BIM 360, and I give support to clients who are making the transition from AutoCAD to Revit. I also work in project coordination using Navis for residential and commercial buildings and doing technical support. Having said that, I would like to welcome you here today in our webinar, 3 interoperability tasks between AutoCAD and Revit. So once you have made the decision to move from AutoCAD to Revit, there are many challenges to face and many new processes to understand and perform. Many of you are probably in a split environment now, or probably will be for the foreseeable future. If this is the case, this session is for you. When implementing Revit, it is common to think that AutoCAD will be completely forgotten, or that we probably won't be able to work closely anymore with people in the industry who are still using AutoCAD, as well as thinking that the work that we have done in previous years in terms of standards, such as details, will be lost. It is important to know that the topics we will cover in this session will require a good understanding of Revit. These are just 3 of many interoperability tools that will help make the transition process much smoother. Importing AutoCAD details into Revit, modeling, MEP with architectural CAD backgrounds, and a Revit expert to DWG settings. So let's start with the ideal solution. So the ideal solution would be redraw or use intelligent details, as the one I have in here. So this I just have to take the model, do a section, and represent or bring the detail or the section to the to any of the sheets, or I need to start from scratch by drawing the detail in a drafting view, as the one I'm showing here. So in here, I'm using intelligent families, squiggles, and new to existing connections, breaks, text, and hatches. So this is the more intelligent and cleanest way to do the details in Revit. I'm not going further into this one because it is pretty straightforward, and if you are already Revit user, you will know how to do this for sure. So let's move to the next 2. The next one is a temporary solution, and the other one is Revit type. So I want you to understand the difference between these 2 things in here, between LinkCAD and ImpreCAD. So linked files return the reference to the external files and will update when the Revit model is reopened or the linked file is reloaded. Imported files become a part of the Revit model and lose any connection to the source. So in this temporary solution, we are going to use CAD link. Why? Because when importing CAD links, it brings unwanted things. It can increase sizes, issues with text, leaders. It will bring in line types that we don't want, line styles, patterns, things that we simply don't want. If we are in a rush, many other things can cause warning. So this will be like having a block, no errors, no warning, everything is perfect. So when we're doing this temporary solution, we want to link them. So let me show you how this works. So I'm going my AutoCAD in here. I'm going to open my detail in CAD. I'm going to open my Revit file. All I need to know, I'm going to use any of the templates I have in here. It really doesn't matter which one I select. I'm going to do the plumbing, but it really doesn't matter.
Andrea, are you showing us the software or the PowerPoint?
The software, you can see the software.
No, we're seeing the PowerPoint.
Give me 1 minute, please. Let me. Let me know if you can see my screen now.
Yep, now we can see it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Andrea.
Let me do it. Oh yeah, and if I change my Revit to my CAD, yeah, you can see it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to create a new drafting view. I'm going to give it a name. And I'm going to use this temporary solution here in the Insert tab. I'm going to link my CAD. I'm going to bring that detail I have for testing. I really like to bring the details in black and white. The positioning doesn't really matter. So I will keep the origin to internal origin. And here I have my link CAD. So as you can see here is pinned. So I'm going to unpin in here, but I can't do anything with it. So the explode option is not active in here. The only thing I can do is query. So I'm gonna select one text, and these are the options I have: delete and hide in view. So I'm just going to delete just to see what happens if I use it. But I'm not able to do anything in here. So the only way to modify this is going back to my CAD detail and modify it in here. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to save the file. So if I go to my Manage tab, Manage Links, CAD formats, I need to select the detail and reload. And here it is, this is the modification. So this is if we are in a rush, because the idea is don't use AutoCAD anymore. So I'm going to close this thing, and I'm going to move to the next option, which is what we call Revitize. So this is not on ideal, because everything is not perfect. So let's move to an exercise in order you can see how this works. So I'm gonna bring my Revit model in here. I already have it open. I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to use the Import CAD option in the Insert tab menu. So I'm going to bring with Import CAD another detail. Same thing, colors, I like to keep the black and white. The positioning doesn't matter at all. Oh, I forgot one thing. The ideal instruction is to keep this drafting view in a scale 1:1. So again, I'm going to import my CAD. And here it is. So I have issues in here. That means that I have to go back to AutoCAD and look what's happening in here. So I'm going to open this detail in AutoCAD to see if I have the same issue in here. In here looks super well. It seems that this is drawn in a 1:1 scale, but this is not always real. So I have a trick for you. It sometimes works for me. So if you go to your layout and you set your page in a letter paper size, double click on the viewport. In here I know that it's in this scale, so I'm going to match this scale with the Revit scale. So I'm going to unpin this thing, delete, change the input scale to match the AutoCAD one. I'm going to import my CAD detail again. And here it is, I have less issues. So the idea to Revitize is just take this image and explode it. So I'm going to do a full explode. And I need to start to delete everything that is not Revit item. So I don't need this. I'm going to select all the text because I want to make this 332 Arial. I'm gonna keep the arrows that I brought from AutoCAD. These are lines, but I will keep them, but I need to delete them in a moment. So I need to start to fix everything in here. This is working, this is working, this is not working. I need to make this just one text. So here it is. This one is working. This one is not working. Now it's a single test. This one didn't work, so I'm going to change the text type. Okay, I already fixed this one. This one is working. This one didn't work neither. So same procedure. I want to make this only one text. And then my text is fixed. So I need to add the arrows in here. I'm going to select the text and I can change the leader arrowhead. So this is the one I always use. So I already have Revitized text. So I can point everything out and delete everything that was referring to an arrow. So same thing in here, same thing in here. And once I have done the reference, I can delete these lines. So I'm just going to delete this. And this, and here is our first part. Then I have many line types in here, line types that came from AutoCAD. Look, so I just need to select everything, filter, and just keep the lines. At the beginning, I always select the thin lines, and then I decide which type of lines I want to use to difference between equipment and piping. But I just use the Revit ones. So another thing in here is there are many texts that is from AutoCAD. So again, I just want to keep the Revit items. And the other thing is a hatch. So the hatch is not a hatch. So I also need to delete this and make it a Revit hatch. Oh, if you can see in here, we have the flow arrows. I'm going to select all instances and delete them. So I already have just Revit items. So I just want to go to here to the manage line styles, and I just want to keep the Revit ones. So I'm gonna delete this one. All the ones that allows to delete are the ones that are exported. So these one are from Revit. Oh, I can delete this one. So the next thing I would like to do is purge unused. So there are many things in here that I'm not using. So I'm going to do check all. Then again, I still have 52 items. Then again, and if I select in here, this should be clean as it is. Same thing as the line types. I'm going to do the hatch in Revit. Here in region, field region. This is not taking the correct hatch. I'm going to do edit type. I'm going to duplicate. I need to have a concrete pattern. And I'm going to change it in here. These ones are the one native from Revit. And here it is. So I have to point the arrows where this is still aligned. So I just need to finish to organize this thing, to organize that text. This is not a Revit arrow. Another thing I should do is use this as annotation. So I'm going to bring a family as a symbol for this squiggle. So I'm going to load this family. And the existing connection as well. And I can bring them as symbols. And with this, I have finished to Revitize this detail. So I want to point something out regarding the hatches. So there is a way for bringing the hatches from AutoCAD. So I'm going to open another detail. Let's delete this. Let's import this detail. I'm going to explode it. I'm having issues with the scale, but this is not the thing I'm concentrated. So I'm going to select the instances. I just want you to see the hatches. So in here, same thing. Hatches are not hatches. So I'm going to start a new fill region to recreate this one in here. Oh, but 1 minute. I'm going to use the invisible lines. Let me clean this out a little bit. I'm going to delete this and then add the correct pattern. So I'm going to edit type. Same thing I did a minute ago. So I'm going to name it as gravel. And in here I see I can't find it in Revit out of the box. So I'm going to click here in new, and this window pops up. So I need to go in here to custom, browse, this PC, see, program files, Autodesk, Revit, and AutoCAD Interop. I'm gonna take this file in here, and this will bring all AutoCAD hatches. So let's look for the gravel. So I'm gonna click here in OK. OK. And as you can see in here, the scale is not working. So I'm going to click on it, open it again, edit. I'm going to change the scale in here. Let's do 0.2. It's still a bit big, but it worked. Same thing with this, with this one. So let's do the same exercise for this hatch. So I'm going to do another fill region. With invisible line. I'm going to do edit type, duplicate, I'm just going to add a name in here. New, custom, browse, and I think this is the NC 38. Yeah, here it is. So same thing, scale issues. So let's edit it. And here it is. So this is the way you can bring the hatches from AutoCAD. I'm gonna close this. So, oh, there's one other thing I want to show you. Let's summarize what we have done. So, to do in AutoCAD, ideally, we should bring objects closer to 0, 0 or to the origin. We have to set the scale if we have to. We have to edit the end text. It should have the same color because Revit creates separate text objects from each different colored text. And text grab width has to be set correctly in CAD. Because of the change in text style, the width could be wrong, overlapping, or overdrawing elements. You also have to delete unnecessary stuff in AutoCAD. You have to purge prior to bring the CAD file into the Revit. To do in Revit, this is the procedure. Swap the CAD text style names to Revit text styles. Swap the CAD hatches to Revit fill regions. Dimensions come as exploded objects. It is better to create a new ones in Revit as I did. Swap the CAD lines type to Revit line types by selecting the objects with the filter tool. Swap the CAD annotations to Revit annotation and use families as I did with the squiggle. In here, we also have to delete unnecessary stuff, and none of the exploded CAD objects should have any remnants of any CAD hatch pattern, text style, DWG blocks, arrows, etc. So, best practices for Revitizing, just the process I just did.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we have a question here. Maybe you can show it easier now that we're at it. It says, where was the folder for hatches located again?
Oh, okay. Let me know if you can see my screen now.
Yes.
So I have my testing here. So I'm going to create the hatch. So if I click in here and I do new, custom, browse, here is the location. So see program files, Autodesk, Revit 2021 or the version you are using, and AutoCAD Interop. That is the folder root. And inside of that folder, the file you need to use is the ACDB.
Thank you, Andre.
Okay, so going back. Going back to this, where's my presentation? So the best practices for doing this Revitization, the first one is do not import more than one detail at the same time. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So if you are a designer, I'm sure that you have seen this thing many, many times. When we work in CAD, at least the majority of the people I have known, including me, we all have a file like this one, where we keep all the details, the legends, and the things we need. And we have been copying and pasting these things for a long time. So I'm going to try to put this in my Revit model. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to insert load family. Oh. I select the wrong option. So in here, I'm going to use my test multiple. But Revit, I think this will not allow me to do this bit thing. As you, oh, okay. This time it is allowing me to do it. But sometimes it says we have many objects and million of warnings. So if we have issues with one of the details, could you imagine if we have 1 million of warnings with this? So as you could see, Revit in this case is not as intelligent as we would like to be. The amount of warnings could be disappointing and a never-ending issue if Revit allows you to do it. In this case, I don't know why, because I have tried this many times and it says that it's not possible. But the better way to do this thing without being frustrated is to take one detail by one. Because let me explode this thing. Oh, look, here is the warning. There are many elements in here. So besides that it can be explode, it would be a mess. More warnings, arrows. I would probably will not know where are my text, where should I point it, where are the names. I mean, there are many things that could be wrong. So one of the best practices is just do not import more than one detail at the same time, one by one. The second one, super important, do not import any CAD detail directly into the project file. So for this, we create libraries. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to open another file I have in here. It is a file, a regular file just like this one, but in that file I have created four details, four independent details. So let me open another Revit windows and I will show you how this works. So talking about MEP, when I use these kind of details, I do a Revit library for plumbing, another one for electrical, and another one for HVAC. So give me 1 minute. This is opening. So I'm going to open up another project. So new project, let's say this is systems. It has MEP on it. And here you are going to see how this thing works. So here in the Insert tab, you need to go to Insert from File, Insert View from Files, and go to the folder where you have the Revit details created. So in my case, it's in here, plumbing details, and this will show something like this. So if I have 10, 11, 12, 100 details, it will be listed in here. And you just have to bring the one you need. So in this case, I'm going just to take these two. I'm going to click here in OK. And I will be able to see my details in here. So again, do not import any CAD detail directly into the project file. Do it through the library. The other thing, when you are doing that library, you should do a test. How do you do that test? That test is done by adding the details into a sheet. So in here, we have this detail was created at 1/4. This detail was created on 1/8, 1/4, 1/8, and they are looking very similar. But if you have millions of details, you will not probably that lucky. So that means that you will need to scale the details and make sure by doing this test that everything is looking uniform. So that's the third best practices. Just do a test before publish that library. And the last one, do not keep any AutoCAD entity. How do you ensure that? At the end of, when you finish to edit your detail, do the purge, verify that there is not more text than the Revit one, not more line types than the Revit ones. And with this, you will have a very, very, very good fit with your Revitized details. Let's move to the next one. So modeling MEP with architectural backgrounds. So first of all, the most important thing for starting with this, let me open this folder structure. So it might seem that it's a very simple instruction, but the first of all, we need to create a folder with a structure that allows me to work in the most organized manner. So in here I have, this is the folder structure I have used, and it worked perfect for me. So the coordination folder will contain all the information sent by clients with dates. So the idea is to keep the information as it was sent with no modifications. So for example, this was the first version I received from the client in an email, in BIM 360, whatever. I just created a folder with the date, and I put the files in here. The second one is the link AutoCAD. Same thing, date and name. So in here, I'm going to save all changes made to the original file. So these are the same files that the client sent, but with modifications. That is with cleaning. I will let you know what that means. The next one is the link Revit. So this is the model where I'm going to set the arc background. I normally suggest the arc is in a completely different model to be linked. A different model than the one where we are going to draw or model the disciplines. This is because the background set is something that I think needs to be done by the BIMCAD manager. It's a BIMCAD manager responsibility. I really don't want engineers to be involved in this particular task. So in my personal opinion, the success of a process is that each person has its own role. So the B model, the link Revit model, where the ARC model will live, it's BIMCAD manager responsibility. And this one, red lines is not relevant for this instruction, but this is important just to have record of the back and forth with client. Then, prior to start or to create or set a model, what we need to do is check in if I have all the information I need from the architect or the client. The scale, the size of the sheets, the elevations, those are super important. The location of the node, the sheet index, the title block, and whatever I need for setting this project. So the next is cleaning the backgrounds. So I have two possibilities. Let me show you how that looks. So I have here my folder structure in coordination. I'm going to open, I have two options. The first one, when the client sent the first floor and second floor and other floors by separate, that's the ideal situation. And the other option is when we have everything in one model or everything in one file. So If I have everything in here, I'm going to open this. So I need to clean this thing up. So the first thing we need to do is save as. But not in this folder, because this is the folder where I place all the information from the client. So if I go to link AutoCAD, I'm going to create, let's say this is an update, not the first version. So 2023, the date of today. And this is the arc background. So I'm going to keep the same name. I'm going to save this thing, and I'm going to start to clean this thing. I don't need this. I don't need this. I'm not going to add the room tags in here. I'm going to add this in the other model. So I need to delete this from here, all the arrows. I don't need this. What else? I don't need this. I don't need this neither. I don't need text. And this is pretty much, I think. The other thing I would like to do in here is just select everything. And put everything in the same color. I regularly like to use the color number 8. Here I have annotations that I don't want to see. More annotations. I don't want to see by layer. And here is my clean first floor plan. So I need to do the same with the second floor, same procedure. In coordination, I have to do the same with the second floor plan. So I will keep it like that to show you the option 2. So I'm going to open this, and this is another situation. So I have a roof, a second floor, a first floor. So what I need to do is to open a new drawing. Copy this. And I need to paste this thing in 0, 0, 0. Oh, sorry, I did something wrong in here. Oh, what it is not taking my coordinates, sorry. 0, 0, 0. Okay, so I'm going to save this thing, save as. I need to take this name, same name. Going to my link AutoCAD folder. This is for the option 2. And then I'm not gonna clean this one. And this is clean, I already have cleaned this one. And we need to create the second floor as well by using a reference in here. So what I normally do is trying to locate a point that is common for all levels. So those normally are the elevators or the stairs of a column, or if the CAD file comes with grids, that will be great. But here it is. So I'm going to open another new file. I'm going to open the external references palette. I'm going to attach the DWG, the first floor. And then I'm going to take the second floor of this file that has everything on it, and I'm going to use this stair. Let's see. Copy with paste point. And this is a common point. So this is a guarantee that it is stuck. So I'm going to delete this from here because this was just for reference. And I'm going to do a save as. Let's double check that this is the link AutoCAD. Let's do the second floor plan. I need to clean this a bit. I'm going to change the color. And I'm gonna use these ones to create my, what I call the B model. So let me close this thing. I'm gonna close this. So what I'm gonna do is my architectural background model. So I'm going to take the architectural, where it is in here, architectural. So first thing I need to do is go to the elevation and set the elevations. So let's say in the information I got from the architect, my level 1 is called A0, so it has to match with the architect information. My level 2 is A1, and I'm gonna change my elevation to 15. Then I'm going to be back here in my level 1. I'm going to insert, I'm going to import CAD. Then I'm gonna look my clean files. The ones that just have cleaned out. So in here is super important that you need to do this level by level. And when you bring the file, you need to check that this current view only is on. Because if not, the AutoCAD file will be in all levels of your model. So black and white, in positioning origin to origin, because I already set the 0, 0, 0 coordinates. So I would like to keep this, and I'm going to open it. Okay, this is super important as well. This is one of the things we need to do in AutoCAD prior to bring an AutoCAD file, just to set the proxy graphics to 1. So in here is working on, I think I bring the, oh no, I just didn't save. So let's do this again. I'm going to import my CAD option 2. And here it is. So I don't need to move this because it is in the correct coordinates. So I'm going to select my elevation arrows, and I need to accommodate those to our CAD file, not the CAD file to our elevation arrows. So first thing we have to do is to accommodate this. Then in my practice, I don't like to keep this thing um, dark because it is not the my main issue. I mean, I don't want to see the architecture. What I want to see and make visible is the MEP modeling. So I go to visibility and graphics, imported categories, and I make this happen. Um, then I'm going to go to the next level, import CAD, second floor plan, black and white, current view only. Same thing, visibility and graphics, imported categories, and Hampton. So I didn't clean this perfect, but that's the idea, that you can see how the background is looking like. So now I'm going to do a save as project. I'm going to jump into my folder structure, and I'm going to place this in my link Revit. I like to use like naming structures for this. So B21 is the model B, version 21, 230615 is the date of today, and then the name of the project. In this case, test project name. I just want to have one backup. And our, yes, I want to. And our architectural background model is ready. So I'm going to close this, and then I'm gonna go with the model. So with the model where I am going to link the architectural background and where I'm going to model all my disciplines. So it will be great if you have a template. If you don't, you can use the templates file from Revit. So I'm going to use the systems template. It has everything on it. Electrical power, mechanical plumbing, it has everything on it. So here I'm going to bring my Revit model, the one I just have set. And two things in here. So if I go to manage, I can see that the model is here. That is not visible. So for make it visible, I have to go to the visibility and graphics, Revit links. I have to select the model, and I have to change the host view. So in here is by host view, I had to do by link view. And in this way, my model will be visible. Same thing, I have to move the elevation pointers. And the next thing we have to do is to go to an elevation, and I have to name the levels exactly the same as we did in the B model. So let me move this a bit. So this is the linked Revit model, and these are the levels on my actual model. So I'm going to match these names. And then I'm going to do copy monitor. So I'm going to select my link. I'm going to do copy multiple, This one is the one I want to bring. This one is the other one I want to bring. I'm going to do finish, and my levels are already the same that the B-Link model. So in here, I will be ready to start to model. In here, the room tags I told you that I deleted in the B model because I added it in here. So I'm going to insert, I have a text family for that. And that's basically because in our exercise of modeling, sometimes we have to move this thing. So, oh, sorry, I want to edit the family. Now, let's say room one, let's give it a number. I also want to make this happen. Because by having the tags in here, if I don't know, probably here. If I need to draw plumbing pipe in here and I need to add an annotation in here, I probably need to move this to here, or I can add a leader and move it to make the drawing more versatile, cleaner. So yeah, that's why I add the room tags in this model. And that's pretty much. If you want, you can add the CAD files directly in the model you are going to use for the systems, for the three disciplines. But that's up to you. The process will be the same, but you will avoid two steps, which is the coordination, the copy monitor. Yeah, only the copy monitor. Everything else is the same. It's just my preference to keep the architectural in a different model. So it's up to you, but the procedure is almost the same. So best practices for modeling with CAD backgrounds. First, establish a folder structure. I already showed you how it is. Do not use or modify the original files just in case. Use LinkCAD, not ImportCAD. Prepare and clean the CAD files as much as possible. Do not change the CAD files coordinates you established at the beginning, never. And I always keep the same naming conventions. Summarizing the procedure we just did. Open the original file and save it in the linked AutoCAD file folder. Set all levels to 00 or required coordinates by architect. Reduce CAD file size by cleaning it. Same thing. Purge, overkill, remove external references. Set the proxy graphics to 1, which was the warning we had. Remove text, arrow, hatches, all non-necessary items. Remove non-use layer. Use the command set by layer to remove colors, line types, or line weight overrides from objects. And save as a new file matching the ARC naming conventions. That's in AutoCAD. In Revit, for the architectural model, go to link Revit for bringing the CAD files on each level one by one. Move elevation as necessary, rename and move levels as necessary, and matching with ARC plans. In the visibility and graphics, set the link field file to be Hapton and save as per standard naming and saving in a different folder than the original ones. That's for the ARC model. And for the system model, the second model, use the link Revit for bringing the ARC model, go to an elevation and rename the levels matching with ARC model. Copy monitor for make it visible in visibility and graphic, change to by link view, and then add room tags. So that's all that has to do with modeling anything with architectural CAD backgrounds. And last but not least, Revit exports to DWG settings. So I'm going to share my Revit. This WG export consists in making a translation in Revit sheet views to get formats, which are already radically different. When working with BIM models, the ideal solution is that there is no need to export the WG and all of stakeholders are able to consume the BIM model. But this is just an ideal world. Actually, it is required in many cases to export to CAD formats. So in here, the File tab, Export CAD formats, I'm going to click here. So I have a couple of options in here. First of all, the export option. So we can do current view or sheet only or in session view sheet. And I can select whatever I want to export. So let's say sheets in the sheet. Whatever you want to export. Then the second part is the select export setup. If you click in here, you will see a bunch of possibilities in here. So first of all, Revit already comes with predetermined layers. So this is what you are going to have automatically when you open your AutoCAD files. You can modify this if you want. Then you can create, export, bring, match the line types. I really use the ones that Revit has out of the box. I don't want to complicate too much with this. There is a whole class on how to match these standards, but I like to do it as simple as possible. So I just use this one. I keep this one. Patterns, same thing, text and fonts, colors, you can change the colors options. How are you going to see the solids, the units and coordinates? And in general, you can hide the scope boxes, reference plane, or reference view tags. I always uncheck this thing. And if you go back in here, you have the export layer options. So the first one means that a Revit element with view specific graphic overrides will return those overrides in the CAD application, but will reside on the same CAD layers as other entities in the same Revit category. The second one, view specific graphics override will be ignored in the CAD application. In exported, Revit elements will reside on the same CAD layer as other entities in the same Revit category. By forcing all entities to display the visual properties defined by the layer, the option results in a lower number of layers and provides by-layer control over the exported DWG or DWF file. And the last one is the one I use the most. A Revit element with view-specific graphics will be placed on its own CAD layer. These options provide by-layer control over the exported DWG or DXF file and preserves graphical intent. However, it increases the number of layers in the exported DWG file. So these are the options. Let's go back to presentation. Summarizing, these are the steps for doing modifications before exporting to Revit. There is not much to do in AutoCAD more than open and check the file, modify or fix any issue. And in Revit is the same thing when you are trying to export to AutoCAD. What we have to select or we should use in the options are the options that make your file for exporting as cleanest and lighted as possible. So that's pretty much. Having said that, to sum up, it's quite common practice to work with CAD files as many firms are still using CAD software. It is important to understand and set the workflow to coordinate with them and maintain the good quality and health of your models. However, combining CAD and BIM will benefit the performance due to the limitation and constraints in Revit. Always make sure to audit and link the CAD file. Not being more, thank you so much for joining us. We sincerely hope that
Thank
all
you so much, Andre,
information.
for that wonderful presentation.
Sorry,
Any of these
I was
topics.
trying to close out. We sincerely hope that this information
Sorry,
has
what?
been useful for you.
So, if you
And
want to
here it
learn
is.
any of these
This is for
topics in detail, you can always take a custom training with Andre or someone else on our team. We also offer group classes online. So, yeah, be sure to be checking the MicroCAD website for future webinars. We have coming up next on June 22nd, What's New in Civil 3D 2024. And then we have on June 29th, Autodesk Usage Report. Keep track of all of your product and users has never been so easy. So, yeah, thank you everyone for attending, and thank you, Andre, for that wonderful presentation.
Yeah, there is another question in there. You notice you did the room tax